Welcome to FRC Media News for Thursday, July 18th, 2019. I'm Keith Tebow. We have a clearer picture on who will be running or may be running for local office in this fall city election. The Children's Museum will have a special event to coincide with the 50th anniversary of the first man on the moon. And we're also ready for some football. Fall River's semi-pro football team begins its inaugural season this weekend. We'll have those stories coming up in just a few moments. But first, let's check in with the news headlines of the week. We bring in Phil Devitt, the digital news editor at the Herald News. Phil, welcome back. How are you?
Thank you, Keith. I'm doing well. How are you today?
Good. Let's start with that top story I mentioned. Even though it's been almost a week, last week was the deadline for candidates to take out nomination papers and return them in the city's municipal election, which will take place this fall. And of the three races, mayor, city council, and school committee, looks like we'll only have one preliminary election in September, and that'll be for mayor.
Yes, that's right. So it's going to be another interesting campaign season, at least for that race. We have four candidates in the mix. Of course, Mayor Jazel Correa announced a while ago that he would run again, and he's got all of his papers checked off and ready to go. Paul Coogan, who went head-to-head with Mayor Correa in the March recall election, will once again run for that office. Erica Scott Pacheco, another familiar name to people who followed the recall election, is back in the saddle. And a newcomer to the scene, Angel Pantoja, is also running for mayor. So we'll have four people running for mayor. As for school committee and city council, as you said, Keith, no preliminary. But I think I've misspoke on this program before and said that the preliminary would be on the 21st of September. It's actually going to be on the 17th of September. So still time to adjust your calendar there if you had the 21st marked off. Yeah,
I mean, in years past, we've seen a wide swath of candidates come forward, especially interested in the city council race. And how it works for people who are unfamiliar with the Fall River election is, in order for there to be a preliminary election, there needs to be a full slate of candidates plus one, if you will. Now, in terms of the city council, there are 9 city council seats. There's usually twice that many for the general election, which would be 18 candidates rather. So for a preliminary to take place, you would need 19 or more to eliminate some of those candidates to bring it down to 18. This year, we only have 17 candidates that have returned papers to the election office. Doesn't necessarily mean they'll have their requisite signatures or even file those papers. The election office is still working on that. There's still, I think, a couple of weeks before that is done. So that was interesting. And even in the school committee race, Phil, even more interesting in my mind is that in order to have a preliminary, you would need 13 candidates. There's 6 school committee members. Double that is 12 for the general election. Only 8 candidates returning papers for school committee. Have you guys done any, investigating as to, whether there's more? It appears to be a lot more apathy here in the city, and why people aren't coming out to run for office.
Yeah, well, that can be a difficult thing to measure, especially in a city where politics is always so very much at the forefront. It's the number one thing people are discussing. It's the number one thing people are thinking about most of the time. At least that's the perception. We haven't heard any indications one way or another why there were so few people in the running for seats on the school committee this year, but it's certainly something we'll look into as we get further along into the process. But yeah, for any follower of Fall River politics, it certainly raises the red flag. Candidates, of course, have until August 2nd to file certified nomination papers with the city clerk, and then snap your fingers, and it will be September 17th or the 20th. Yeah, so it's coming soon.
Yeah, and by that second date, we'll know officially who will be on the ballot in all those races. And, one of the issues that we talked about before, Phil, is, the new city charter was enacted. So this is the first city election where those running for city council and school committee needed to acquire more signatures for their nominations. I believe they needed 150 signatures compared to 50 in the past. But I would think that normally candidates get 2, 3, 4 times as many signatures as they need. So I don't know if that's necessarily an issue, but anyway, it's just interesting to see that that so few people have come forward.
Yeah, and you said the word official. It'll be nice to have official documentation of who's in the running here very soon.
Well, some things that we can bring up is there will actually be potentially at least 2 new members of the Fall River City Council, as incumbents Derek Viveros and Steve Long either did not take out papers or did not return nomination papers before the deadline. And on the school committee side, there'll be at least 2 new faces there. As you mentioned, Paul Coogan, current school committeeman, is running for mayor, and Joseph Martins, longtime school committee member, decided not to run this year. So there'll be some new faces. Plenty of time between now and November to talk about that, but just interesting to see that so few candidates decided to step forward. All right, moving on. The city of Fall River, during its budget process, was looking at the school budget, and there was concern over the cost of transportation, mainly bus service for students. The city was looking to pay considerably more for bus service beginning this school year. Mayor Correa and the school committee decided to go back out to bid, to rebid the transportation contracts. Those bids were open this week, Phil, and it looks like the city is going to save a couple of $1 million on their original proposal.
It does, Keith. Yeah, you know, this has been an ongoing saga the last couple of months here in the city for anyone following budget issues in the school department. Now, you know, maybe some good news ahead. You know, the bids came in earlier this week, and the now second round of bids for school transportation. We were down there. We shot some Facebook Live video of the action, which really wasn't much action. It was just a lot of people kind of shuffling paperwork around.
Yeah, those bid openings are not very dramatic. It's a formality.
No. But important stuff happening at them despite the silence in the room. And so now what we have is a situation where, you know, we're down a couple of $1 million. I think the original bid on transportation was $11.9 million, and some thought that was too high, and including Mayor Correa and school committee member Kevin Aguiar. So, you know, those bids were pushed out, and now what we have is something probably in the $9 million range. It's looking more like $9.9 million for 1 year. Of course, the school committee is scheduled to, you know, vote later this month on contracts for other kind of breaking down the transportation,
right.
But will likely award a $1.34 million contract with Tremblay's Bus Company, right. For general education transportation. And then Whaling City Transit was the low bidder for special education for regular school buses at $2.86 million. And Tremblay's, again, the sole bidder for special education van transportation at $5.79 million. So it's going to be interesting to see, you know, what happens next in this process, Keith.
Well, Lisa, it looks like the city is saving some money, which is, again, always a good thing. Now,
it is.
Now, in terms of saving money on the opposite end, the city reported this week, or at least Joe Good at the Herald News reported, that the Fall River Police Department looks like it's going to end its fiscal year with a big deficit in terms of its overtime costs.
Yeah, that's the other big news this week, Keith, for sure. You know, the City Police Department is ending the 2019 fiscal year with a deficit of more than $547,000 in overtime costs as part of a $20 million plus budget. And, you know, what's the response from the police department on this? Well, Chief Albert Dupere says that, you know, look, the budget's a moving target. The department doesn't always know how many accidents it's going to have or how many calls, likening it to a guessing game. So it's hard to pin an exact figure down in his eyes. A big chunk of the shortfall, our Joe Good reported, is $300,000 alone just to cover replacement staffing for police officers who call in sick or take vacation.
Right.
Chief Dupere said that's a really big one. So.
Yeah.
And another $160,000, we should note, was for overtime in investigations of major crimes, also according to the police chief.
Right. And this is something, even though when people say, oh, there's a deficit, in terms of the city budget, there's money that some departments didn't use. We'll find out. That's usually considered free cash. We'll find out about that once the books are finalized. And, and there's no financial, disaster on the part of the city coming up here. It's just something that was glaring of note in terms of a big deficit in that one line item.
Absolutely, yeah, and I guess the chief has a point there. You can't predict what's going to happen. I think,
right.
These officers show up every day not knowing if it's going to be a crazy day or a calm day, although I don't know if there is such a thing as a calm day in the city of Fall River.
Yeah, I know a lot of people, if there's going to be a deficit in terms of public service for our community, I think public safety is okay to have a little bit of a deficit. I think most people would not see that as big of an issue as others may do that, may look at that deficit. Finally this week, the City Council was meeting on, I believe it was Monday this week. They had a number of issues. One of the issues that came up once again was whether the city wants to limit the number of marijuana dispensary sites for recreational marijuana. Some people may remember watching the show that I believe the mayor's office has approved up to 11 letters, if you will, to allow companies to move forward. Some city councilors are looking to reduce that to around 8 or 9. And then something else came up this week, an accusation made by City Councilor Sean Kadim aimed at Mayor Correa in terms of the mayor's involvement in approving some of these marijuana dispensary sites.
Yeah, we were putting this story together earlier this week, and, originally we had Sean Kadim's accusation levied at the mayor a little lower in the story, and we decided, this should probably be at the forefront here, because it's something you don't hear every day from a sitting city councilor in a public forum. Kadim basically saying, Keith, that the mayor is alleging that the mayor is accepting kickback money from the marijuana industry. So what we did was we followed up with Sean Kadim to see if he had any elaborations to make. He declined a request to comment further. We also approached the mayor about this accusation because it is a big one. Mayor Correa also declined to comment on the implication of wrongdoing. But he did say that he contacted his attorney about those public statements. So more to come on that possibly. We're not sure at the moment. But that was certainly a big moment at Monday's City Council meeting. Yeah,
I know. It's like you said, it's not something you hear quite often, and an accusation of this type. We all know that there's been some conflict between the mayor and some members of the City Council. But to have this come up and really not having any, I guess, basis that he put forward in the meeting, Councilor Kadim, would just be something that, again, it was interesting to hear, and we'll follow up as we go forward. All right, Phil, what's coming up over the next few days?
So if you've been watching the news, or if you're an outer space fan, you know that this week is the 50th anniversary of the Apollo 11 moon landing. We actually got to chat with a fascinating Westport resident who had a role in getting us to the moon, and we're going to have a lovely story on that coming up on our website, heraldnews.com, and in print.
And very good. And we'll have a story coming up right after our break about what the Children's Museum is doing to help celebrate the 50th anniversary. So, all right, Phil, have a great week. We'll talk to you next time.
Thanks, Keith.
We'll have more FRC Media News after this.
Here are some job descriptions on the latest hot jobs list from the Mass Hire Fall River Career Center. Professional dog walker. Furry Fella's Pet Service is in need of a part-time professional dog walker to visit clients' homes in the Fall River area to care for their companions while they are at work or on vacation. Job number 123-69716. Bilingual Relationship Banker. Bank of America, located at 87 Mariano Bishop Boulevard, is looking for a full-time bilingual relationship banker responsible for assisting and educating customers in the lobby on self-service banking options online, mobile, and ATM. Job number 123-51505. Dental assistant Aspen Dental, located at 90 William S. Canning Boulevard, is looking for a full-time dental assistant to assist the dentist during a variety of treatment procedures. Job number 123-69579. South Coast Health, located at 363 Highland Avenue, is looking to fulfill the following full and part-time positions. Radiology Technologist, job number 123-72106. Registered Nurse, job number 123-72357. Bristol County Training Consortium, located at 446 North Main Street, is also looking to fulfill the following full and part-time positions. Front Desk Reception Coordinator, job number 123-63586. Career Center Director, Deputy Director, job number 123-63580. For more information on these or other positions, visit masshire.jobquest.detema.org or call the Mass Hire Fall River Career Center at 508-730-5000.
Welcome back. This Saturday marks the 50th anniversary of man's first steps on the moon. The Greater Fall River Children's Museum will celebrate the event with a free activity this Saturday from 10 a.m. to noon.
Because our newest exhibit is outer space, we saw it as an opportunity to kind of marry the two. Some of what we want to do as we're building our space center is to go back to the old days of Cape Canaveral and show the kids what that would look like. And so we thought this would be a nice opportunity to celebrate the 50th anniversary with what we have here. Then an opportunity came with the New Bedford Symphony. And the New Bedford Symphony has a grant from the Community Foundation. And their mission is to go out to different venues this summer that wouldn't ordinarily have a symphony performing. And so we fit that criteria. And my first question to them was, outer space music? And they agreed. So we think that's just going to be a fun combination to have a group of playing from the New Bedford Symphony in our new outer space. So we're looking forward to that. There'll be activities to do with outer space. So there'll be some crafts, there'll be some telescopes to decorate, there'll be an opportunity to paint a tile. That will be a $10 fee. But we're doing a tile project up in the courtroom, so their tile will get to be on the wall eventually. So we're trying to build that up. So we'll give folks an opportunity to do that as well that day.
Keeping with the space theme, the Fall River Public Library next week will welcome Buzz Lightyear from the Toy Story movie series as part of its Galaxy of Stories storytelling event. Families are going to be encouraged to bring blankets to the Elm Street lawn of the library to hear stories of galaxies far, far away. There'll be other activities as well. The Galaxy of Stories event takes place this Tuesday, July 23rd at 11 a.m. As we progress through the summer, it becomes harvest season and the pop-up of a number of farmers markets across the city. Health First Family Care Center on Quarry Street is hosting a market through the summer to not only expose local residents to fresh produce, but to promote healthy eating.
The farmers market came about because we see the need in our community. We're in a needy community. We're in the Flint area. A lot of our participants, our patients, our clients, they're not able to get transportation to the farmers markets that are at the Kennedy Park, the Ruggles. So we just thought, being the heart of the community, Health First, that this would be a great area to host it for our patients. There's some great benefits here. She takes debit, she takes cash, she takes food stamps, she takes the HIT program, which is a wonderful program that so many people don't know about. And I actually, even though I don't work for the transitional department, I am promoting heavily the HIT program. And just to let everybody know a little bit about the HIT program, what that is if you are on active SNAP benefits, which is known as food stamps, you do get a monthly allowance for fruits and vegetables at your local food market. So just for instance, if you're on a caseload for your food stamps 1 to 2 people, you get $40 per month. You can come here on Wednesdays 2 to 6. There are other local farmers markets which you can find on the cmap.gov website. But you go, if you spend $11 today, right away she's putting that money right back on your card. So I promote that heavily only because that's free fruits and vegetables. A lot of people don't even know about this, believe it or not. I make sure that's everywhere. People walking out of our building, I went to the senior center to promote that, to let the seniors know, hey, you have food stamps? Please come on down. Let us help you. There's no discrimination here. Doesn't matter how much money you make. We just want to help everybody. Eating healthy is just really important. I also worked in the dental department here at Health First. So from going to dental to WIC, just all around, our nutritionists here at Health First are just amazing. They're letting all of the participants know about the farmers market. We're giving them fun recipes for the local farmers that we have here today. Even the local farmers that are here are giving recipes, and they're making them easy recipes. It's just really important for us to make sure like our participants and patients are eating healthy.
Lane's Farm in Dighton is supplying the produce at the Health First Farmers Market, which runs Wednesdays from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. at the Health First Family Care Center, 387 Quarry Street through August 28th. We'll have more FRC Media News after this.
Thank you for considering a homeless pet today. I hope you enjoy what you're about to see, and as always, please feel free to contact the shelter before coming down to make sure that the pets you're viewing are still available for adoption. We can be reached at 508-677-9154.
Welcome to Hot Dogs and Cool Cats. Today we have Malibu. Malibu is a 5-year-old husky who is very, very smart, as most huskies are. He can sit, lay down, give paw. His most known quality is his love for his water. He loves pool time, loves playing outside. He likes other dogs, but can be a little shy around them. Malibu is good with children. He doesn't mind when they give him hugs, play with his tail. He's actually very fond of little kids. So if you'd like to meet Malibu, come on down to 300 Linwood Street, Fall River, Mass. Have Forever Paws and come check him out.
Today we have Eddie. Eddie here, as you can see, he's a gray domestic short hair. He's about 3 years old, and as you can see, he really enjoys his head bumps. He's a very friendly cat. So far we've got him here in one of our communal rooms. He's very laid back with the other cats. He does really great with them. So if you have other cats of your own, he would be fine with them. I'm not sure about dogs, but given his disposition, I wouldn't be surprised if, as long as they're not rambunctious or bouncing everywhere, I'm sure that he would do great. As far as general household, he's, like I said, a very tolerant cat, so he could fit in a number of different homes. Kids he would do well with. As you can see, I'm kind of having to chase him around a little bit just to keep him in the frame. He can be a very active guy along with his friendliness. So if you'd like to meet Eddie, maybe chase him around the room yourself, come on down to 300 Linwood Street in Fall River, Massachusetts at Forever Paws Animal Shelter.
There's a new football team in Fall River, and their regular season begins this Saturday night. The Troy City Titans begin play in the New England Semi-Pro Football League with their inaugural game played at Durfee High School. Co-owner and coach Anthony Comer says having a professional football presence in Fall River will be a big boost to the city.
It means a lot, especially to the kids that are on the team that grew up here. They get the opportunity to come back, play home in front of their family, their fans, their friends. Some of them started in the Pop Warner level. Now they're up, went through high school and never thought they'd have an opportunity to come back and doing it. So now they're back and playing on a team, and it's exciting. I'm excited for the city. Like I said, they haven't had a football team here in about 30 years, I believe, the last time they had a team here. But we're looking forward to bringing a great product on the field. Family, friend, everything, just looking to have a good time. We had some of these guys that actually some had pro experience, some had big time college experience, some never even went to college, that are resting their laurels just on high school. So you can't really judge the talent until you actually see it on the field, but you'll notice a big difference in some of the players between some of the new guys and some of the veterans, because there are guys that are 18 years old in this league, and there are guys that are in their 40s, that have been doing this a very long time. So it's really the difference. This isn't our team. This isn't the Anthony Comer team or Lawrence Winslow team. It's the city's team. It's the surrounding city team. We want to make this as big as possible, make this huge. You know, I remember seeing a video a couple years ago of a team down south, and the entire city shut down to come watch a semi-pro game. So it was a lot of fun, especially for the younger kids too. You know, gives them something to look forward to. Some of the guys that, you know, on the weekend that used to going out and drinking or maybe just doing a little mischief, gives them something else to look forward to. And to get behind and support something very positive. So that's really the big thing. Putting out a positive message, having a great time on the weekend playing some Ironman football. It's going to be fun.
We hope you can join in to watch the Titans in person. If not, FRC Media will televise all Titans home games this season. Check out our program schedule for air dates and times. That'll do it for this edition of FRC Media News. You can watch FRC Media News Thursdays and Fridays at 6 p.m. or join us online at our website, frcmedianews.org. For all of us here at FRC Media News, I'm Keith Tebow. Please keep cool this weekend. It's going to be a hot one. We'll see you next Thursday.